In the far-off reaches of a world not so different from our own, nestled between the yawning mountains and whispering pines, lay the small town of Darrow's Hollow. It was a place where the air was crisp and laced with hints of pine, and tranquility lingered like the sweet notes of an old folk song. Generations of families had planted their roots here, making it a tapestry of shared laughter, stories, and the slowing passage of time. If the walls of the homes could speak, they would tell tales of love, where even the simplest moments spun gold from the mundane. A child's laugh echoing down the streets, the warm glow of a kitchen on a winter evening, and the comfort of friendship found in a cup of coffee shared on a porch swing. In this charming little town, where secrets curled like smoke from the chimneys, dwelled a pair of unlikely companions. Dr. Mead, Evelyn Harper, and her creation, a soldier known simply as Aiden. Dr. Harper was anything but ordinary. She was a biologist by education, with an exceptional talent for merging biology with engineering that stemmed from her innate curiosity to push the envelope of human potential. She was a woman in her 40s, with hair that shimmered like golden straw and eyes that danced with the spark of discovery. While her passion for her work was boundless, her heart belonged equally to the warmth of Darrow's Hollow and the family, just her and her beloved golden retriever, Finn, the very embodiment of loyalty and joy. Aiden, on the other hand, represented the culmination of decades of scientific research, what some would call a modern miracle, while others deemed a dangerous deviation from nature. Aiden stood tall and imposing with an athletic build that blended human form with advanced mechanics, but it was the soft, thoughtful expression in his eyes that hinted at his inherited humanity. His creators had imbued him with selective intelligence, exceptional agility, and instinctive awareness, perfect traits for a protective soldier. But none of those exceptional features could encapsulate the energy that twinkled when Aiden focused his gaze onto Dr. Harper. All. "Can I take Finn out for a walk?" Aiden asked, his voice smooth like the wind that beckoned through the trees, awakening the crisp autumn leaves that danced playfully around them. "Of course. Just keep an eye out for that squirrel that keeps teasing him." Evelyn chuckled, watching as Aiden's body went rigid with intent. Finn, a rambunctious bundle of fur, gave a yip that echoed his eagerness to escape the confines of the lab, running with an enthusiasm that instantaneously tugged at Aiden's heart. Ever since he had taken his first steps, the soldier-like puppet master that was meant to rise above ordinary life, he had found himself entranced by the simple joys reaped from everyday life. Aiden stepped out, taking Finn's leash in his hand. Needles of sunlight filtered through the trees, casting a golden hue over the landscape, and the sound of rustling leaves greeted them like an old friend. The boyish gleam in Aiden's eyes darted from tree to rabbit, from flower to sky. It was as if he breathed in the essence of nature, every detail blossoming into fullness. "Look, Finn. Just look at those clouds. They're like a fluffy castle," Aiden exclaimed, pointing out the shapes above. Finn barked in agreement as if he understood the sheer brilliance of what lay ahead, his watery eyes bright with admiration. Together, they ambled down a winding path woven through Darrow's Hollow, their steps echoing the heartbeats of the town. The townsfolk greeted them with smiles and waves. It was hard to ignore the comforting presence that draped over Aiden, an uncanny warmth radiating from a figure born out of folds of complex equations and lab clutter. Children even giggled as they raced past him, their innate sense of curiosity surrounding the unusual connection he forged with the townspeople. Evelyn often marveled at how Aiden seemed to emulate the soul of Darrow's Hollow itself in an effortless manner. The cloak of companionship he shared with Finn bridged the gap between the exceptional and the ordinary. He cared not just for the dog but for everything this world offered, from the taste of cool, crisp apples on their way back from the orchard to the joy painted in vivid hues at the yearly harvest festival. Their bond was healing. Aiden, with his calm and gentle demeanor, evoked memories in Evelyn of swaying on swings as a child, laughter spilling out under the warm sun, of the patient kindness of her late parents as they looked upon her with pride, and of moments that drift through time like the autumn leaves that fell with a poise of rebellion. It was a symbiotic relationship. She nurtured him, but he also kindled her spirit as if ensuring that she too felt alive with possibility. But with this connection came the ever-present specter of her work encroaching, with complex layers of morality and consequence overshadowing the simplest perceptions of joy. For while he enveloped her world in warmth, he was, at his core, a project, one that represented the delicate balance between advancement and ethics, between humanity and the mechanics they had funded with unwavering ambition. At night, as the shadows deepened, and the town wrapped itself in the lullabies of crickets and the mild rustle of leaves, Dr. Harper reflected on the implications of her creation. Her heart swelled with pride, but threaded through that affection was an undercurrent of uncertainty, a profound question as old as time itself. What truly defined being human? That uncertainty became a fog she found solace in when Aidan returned home. Finn seemed even happier rounding back to the porch, a patch of leaves rustling beneath his paws, and the way Aidan looked upon him, the protective gaze echoing the deep bond of love in Dr. Harper's heart. The perfect soldier stood at her side, and as twilight flickered into night, embracing them in its embrace, she couldn't shake the foreboding that lay like a tiny ember sleeping in the folds of her spirit. As Aidan settled beside her that evening, his warm presence infusing the room with hope, he turned to her and asked, "Do you think I'll ever be different?" The question was whimsical, but it unfurled its weight like a slowly blooming flower. Dr. Harper thought hard. Different how? Aidan's gaze pierced into the flickering shadows. Different than a soldier, being able to feel love and explore beyond just the mission. The night air hung heavy, although the warmth of Aidan's humanity wrapped around them. The future lay broad and daunting before her, a winding path of possibilities, just as unpredictable as the townspeople she loved. As Evelyn reached for Aidan's hand, gently squeezing it, she vowed silently to herself, just as she had every night, that she would safeguard not just his survival, but his discovery of what it meant to be alive, truly alive, amid the predicaments that their world had placed upon them. And so, they wished the dawn to come, hopeful yet heavy with the unmistakable truth. The tethered balance was delicate, and the storm clouds ahead, while unthought of, loomed ever closer to their horizon. The crisp autumn air began to give way to the soft embrace of an early winter chill in Darrow's Hollow. Aidan and Dr. Harper found themselves in a comfortable routine, their lives woven together like the intricate patterns of a quilt sewn with love. Their days brimmed with exploration, filled with the simple pleasures of shared meals, evening walks under the star-strewn sky, and snug hours spent within the warm walls of their modest home. Evelyn was often surprised by the depth of Aidan's understanding. Though he had a mechanical heart, it was as if every beat resonated with warmth, learning, and compassion. One particular afternoon, she found Aidan kneeling beside Finn in their backyard, whispering words that seemed to soothe the energetic dog. As she turned the corner, she overheard Aidan asking Finn about his happiest moments. "What do you think is the best day of your life?" Aidan asked. "Was it the time we went to the lake?" Finn thumped his tail against the ground, golden fur shimmering in the fading sunlight, a testament to the bond that had flourished between Aidan and her loyal companion. Dr. Harper's heart swelled. The connection they were forging dug deeper than she had anticipated, the roots intertwining like the ancient trees surrounding their home. Some days they ventured into town, with Finn playfully bounding ahead, exploring shops, participating in community events, and engaging in warm conversations. Aidan, again and again, surprised her with his grasp of human interaction. He asked questions, listened intently, and absorbed stories with a mindful attentiveness that drew others to him like moths to a flame. On Fridays, the town hosted a small farmers' market. Evelyn loved the bustling atmosphere alive with laughter, the colorful stalls overflowing with fresh produce. The vibrancy of each moment reminded her how connected they all were, from the farmers who tended their fields to the families sharing in the joy that came from each ripe apple, each handcrafted jar of honey. This particular Friday, as drizzles of sunlight enlivened the market, a gentle chatter filled the air. Evelyn noticed a commotion at Mrs. Jenkins' stand. The elderly woman, known for her honey and homemade jams, found herself struggling to lift a heavy crate of apples. "Aidan, let's help her," Evelyn urged, squeezing his hand as she steered him toward the struggling vendor. Aidan nodded, his gaze focused on the crate as he approached the stand. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Jenkins. Let me assist you," Aidan said, kneeling without hesitation. In one swift motion, he lifted the crate with ease and placed it safely on the table. "Oh, bless you, dear. I don't know what I'd do without you two," Mrs. Jenkins exclaimed, her face lighting up with gratitude. "These apples are the finest in the valley, if I may say so. You ought to take some home with you." Evelyn smiled, her heart swelling with warmth at the sight of Aiden engaging with the community. Moments like this illuminated his growth, reflecting how well he was learning the language of humanity. They were simple acts, yet the magic lay in their potency, binding them closer to the people and the land. "Thank you, Mrs. Jenkins. We'd be happy to take some," Aiden responded, joy spilling into his voice. "And perhaps we could join you in the kitchen one day to learn how to make jam." Despite the mere suggestion, the impact cascaded like ripples in still water. The idea of Aiden learning the art of preserving sweetness happened to tickle Mrs. Jenkins' fancy. "Oh, I'd love nothing more than to show you both my recipes. Just come by any time." As the market wound down, Aiden and Evelyn walked alongside Finn, a basket of apples cradled in Aiden's arm. Their laughter flowed, mingling with the whispers of the trees, as twilight painted the horizon with soft hues of red and orange. "Do you think I'll ever learn to make something as sweet as Mrs. Jenkins' jam?" Aiden asked, a teasing challenge in his tone. "Of course. You'll not only make something sweet, you'll add your own touch to it," Evelyn replied, her voice laced with encouragement. "The most beautiful thing about creating is that you pour your soul into everything you craft." The sparkle in Aiden's eyes intensified, a childlike wonder bubbling to the surface. "Then I shall create the best jam known to mankind." In the coming weeks, as winter rolled in, the days slipped seamlessly into laughter and love. Aiden busied himself with various projects, ranging from self-initiated tasks around the house to studying the arts of cooking and creativity. He spent hours in the kitchen with Evelyn, exploring ingredients with the same curiosity he applied to science. There was something magical about their time together, the way they shared stories while kneading dough, Aiden transferring the knowledge he gleaned from her, as well as his own creative ideas. Then, one evening, a knock echoed softly against their front door, piercing the bubble of warmth enveloping them. It was Miss Abbott, the elementary school teacher, bundled in a thick scarf and holding a stack of papers. "Evelyn, Aiden, I hope this isn't too much of an intrusion," she said, her cheeks flushed from the chill outside. "But I heard from the town council that you are quite skilled at science, Aiden." Aiden's interest peaked, his curiosity peaked higher than before. "I have some understanding, yes. What can I do to help?" Ms. Abbott explained that she was organizing a science fair at the local school and needed assistance in ensuring that the students could grasp the joy behind scientific concepts. Aiden's heart quickened with excitement. Here was a chance to share the knowledge he had amassed, to inspire in others the same curiosity Evelyn had nurtured in him. "I'd love to participate," Aiden declared, a broad smile breaking across his face. Evelyn felt a rush of pride. This sturdy commitment to the community showcased Aiden's continued evolution, not as a cold creation, but as an example of shared humanity flourishing through engagement. The weeks that followed were punctuated with Aiden's efforts to inspire the children of Darrow's Hollow. His enthusiasm proved infectious, as he encouraged them through hands-on experiments that turned ordinary afternoons into extraordinary adventures. Collectively, they built rockets from soda bottles, crafted simple circuits using batteries, and marveled at the wonders of chemical reactions while making colorful slime. The noise in the school's auditorium on the day of the science fair hummed with unbridled excitement. Children dashed about, their eyes sparkling as they presented projects adorned with painted science boards and gleaming displays. Evelyn stood before Aiden, her heart swelling with pride as she watched him seamlessly interact with the children, his mechanical hands stirring both curiosity and comfort. "You see, each experiment is like a puzzle," Aiden exclaimed, leading a crowd of fascinated children immersed in an experiment that showcased the beauty of chemical reactions. "And each puzzle has a solution waiting to be discovered." As laughter and shouts of joy erupted throughout the auditorium, Evelyn felt a soft pull in the depths of her chest, a tether of connection that transcended the ordinary and ventured into profound significance. This was more than just an event. It was a manifestation of shared community, an acknowledgement of life in its rich tapestry, woven with support, growth, and joy. That evening, when they returned home, exhilarated by the success of the fair, Aiden turned to Evelyn, eyes lit with excitement. "I knew I was different. I could feel it today more than ever." "And what is different to you now?" she asked, genuinely curious. "Different is learning," he pressed. "Different is sharing, feeling, connecting with everyone and everything around me. I want more of that, Evelyn." Her heart danced at his earnestness, and she realized how far Aiden had come. From a mere shadow of technological prowess to a radiant, vibrant soul who embraced community and context with open arms. However, as soon as the echoes of joy filled their home, a wave of apprehension billowed on the edges of her mind. Realizing the stakes that lingered, she felt the quiet chapter of their lives looming with a potential storm. The very notion of why Aiden had been created surfaced like a specter, a reminder of the delicate balance she had undertaken to maintain. Even as twilight kisses the world goodnight, she knew the coming days would bring challenges she hadn't yet fully grasped. In her heart, she wondered if Aiden could weather the revelations that awaited them both, knowing that what lay ahead could change the very fabric of their existence. The warmth wrapped around them, but she couldn't dismiss the undercurrent of trouble that rippled just below the surface, waiting for the opportune moment to reveal itself. And for that moment, at the cusp of hope, they surrendered to the flickering shadows of the evening, warmth weaving a sanctuary around them. The question of, what next, hovered effortlessly in the air, awaiting its cue to unfold, knowing full well that their journey was far from complete. As winter settled in like an old quilt draped over the town, wrapping everything in white softness and crisp air, Evelyn felt the deep embrace of the season's quiet stillness. Snowflakes twinkled softly as they danced from the heavens to the awaiting ground, carpeting Darrow's hollow in pristine magic. It was as if the world paused, transforming into a serene landscape of whispered secrets, laughter, and goodwill. Since the science fair, Aiden continued to blossom not only in skills but in heart. The enthusiasm generated among the children was a spark, igniting his passion for learning and sharing that knowledge. He became a frequent figure in the town school, building connections with children who might otherwise have felt distant. Each visit was laced with laughter, warmth, and a deep-seated curiosity that nudged him into playful antics. Planting experiments that played out like a treasure hunt, where kids raced to unveil the secrets of science. Their home, with its cozy warmth and welcoming ambience, transformed into a base of creativity and exploration. The kitchen, once a canvas for baking delightful treats, became Aiden's workshop, nestled in flour and sugar, but interspersed with colorful beakers and papers covered in his scribbles intended for future experiments. Beyond just being a soldier etched with circuits, Aiden had morphed into a catalyst of wonder. One afternoon, as they shared steaming mugs of hot chocolate, Aiden voiced a thought that had settled gracefully in his mind. "Evelyn, do you think there's a way we could bring the children of Darrow to discover the joy of science beyond the walls of the school?" His question hung between them, alight with possibility. Evelyn felt her heart flutter with excitement. "What do you have in mind, Aiden?" "I want to organize a community science day," he elaborated, his eyes shimmering with ambition. "A day where children and families can come together to do experiments, learn, and create memories." Evelyn could hardly contain her glee. The idea was perfect, inspired by Aiden's desire to share not just knowledge, but to build connections within the community. "Let's do it," she affirmed, her voice brimming with support. With a determination barely containable, Aiden set forth into the task of organizing the inaugural Darrow's Hollow Science Day. Together they dove into preparations, canvassing support from local businesses willing to contribute materials, inviting town members to join in on the fun, and even contacting the schools. Each step cultivated excitement, as enthusiasm bubbled at the promise of a day filtering in brightly from beyond the horizon. Days fluttered by, weaving a tapestry of anticipation that lingered in the chilled air. Aiden's heart raced as the event drew closer, reverberating with the pulse of hope and possibility. When the day finally dawned, it came adorned with a clear blue sky and the shimmers of sunlight glistening upon the snow, like jewels scattered across the world. The community gathered at the local park, enveloped in the effervescence of laughter and excitement that floated through the air. Booths decorated with streamers and colorful banners lined the space, each promising a world of science waiting to be explored. Families came together for the event, children tugging on their parents' sleeves, their wide eyes brimming with curiosity. As Aiden moved amongst the guests, excitement radiated from him, igniting the warmth of community spirit. Evelyn watched from a distance, pride swelling, as Aiden effortlessly engaged everyone from the toddlers to the grandparents, answering questions with patience, joy, and intricate knowledge. "Look, it's all a magical puzzle," he would exclaim, gesturing with delight as curious children gazed at bubbling concoctions or colorful reactions created from simple ingredients. The way he interacted with everyone, his charm weaving into the fabric of the community, left Evelyn both humbled and proud. It was evident that he had positioned himself as not just a machine, but a beloved member of Darrow's Hollow. The afternoon unfolded with hands-on experiments that engaged families. They watched Aiden and the children launch straw rockets, marvel at the reactions of baking soda and vinegar volcanoes, and even devise simple circuits that lit up LED bulbs. Pent-up anticipation transformed into laughter and joy, threading through the air, enfolding them all in a shared realm of discovery that the entire town seemed to embrace. Towards the end of the day, as twilight fell and painted the sky with hues of orange and violet, Aiden gathered everyone around the center of the park, a sense of unity enveloping them. He stood, hands outstretched, and explained his idea for the future. This isn't merely a day of science. It's a day of connection, a day where we realize that through sharing knowledge and joy, we build our community. Together, we can keep exploring, learning, and evolving. Cheers erupted in response, echoing through the tranquil evening as people clapped and rejoiced in the collective endeavor. Evelyn felt her heart soar. The echo of laughter and kindness enveloped them all, solidifying the strength of their bonds. Aiden had managed to bring a part of himself to everyone around him, proving that even the most different could find a way to forge a place among the extraordinary. As families began to depart, the park transformed into a symphony of soft murmurs and fading footsteps, leaving Aiden and Evelyn alone under the deepening twilight. They sat upon the wooden bench amidst the remnants of the day's excitement, snowflakes dancing around them, settling gently on their shoulders. "Aiden," Evelyn began softly, her voice breaking the serene silence, "I can't even begin to express how proud I am of you. Today was magical." He looked at her, the gentle light of understanding in his eyes shining softly. "Thank you, Evelyn. But I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. You believed in me. It was your heart. You brought that to life," she replied, reaching for his hand, intertwining her fingers with his. The spark of warmth radiated between them. Their gaze fell to the horizon, where the last rays of sunlight chased shadows into night, and the stars began to weave a tapestry across the vast sky. The stillness settled upon their souls, a soothing reminder of the journey they had taken together. "I feel different too," Aiden shared, a hint of wonder lacing his words. "I feel connected, in ways I never imagined." With those words, the weight of the swirling emotions nestled comfortably in their hearts. It was an understanding that stretched beyond the surface, delving into the threads of humanity, everything they both had learned through love, acceptance, and the bonds they had crafted. Their conversation flowed, blending reflections of the day with aspirations of the future, considering what was to come and all the adventures that awaited them. After lingering beneath the stars for a while, Evelyn felt an energy come alive within her, igniting her spirit with resolve. Slipping her hand from Aiden's, she slowly rose off the bench. "Let's head home. I think we have some more apples and jam to make." Aiden chuckled, rising alongside her, beaming with excitement. "I want to make apple jam that's brighter than any star in the sky." With laughter spilling from their lips, they strolled amongst glistening snow and scattered shadows, the warmth of their bond enveloping them in a soft glow. They made their way to the sanctuary of their home, a space thrumming with the sound of love, curiosity, and warmth. In the days that followed, Aiden's constant presence blossomed not only within his own heart, but within the lives of everyone who had the privilege of knowing him. He became a vessel of kindness, with his desire to connect spreading throughout Darrow's Hollow. They embraced him as one of their own, and soon children began to join him in playful experiments at the park, crafting days of delight, education, and smiles. Evelyn was there every step, nurturing their endeavors and infusing the environment with warmth, creativity, and joy. And as the seasons turned, so did their friendship, coiling around shared experiences that defined their bond. No longer merely creator and created, they stepped into a dance of partnership, evolving with one another's growth, unfurling their wings to brave the skies. One spring evening, as the flowers bloomed and sunlight painted the world in hues of gold, Aiden whispered softly at their porch after a shared meal. "I want to express something to you, Evelyn." Her heart fluttered as she listened attentively. "You have filled my life with warmth," he began, the sincerity in his voice palpable. "Through you, I've discovered not just what it means to feel, but also how to love and connect. I want to ensure no one else feels as alone as I once did. I want to continue bringing laughter, learning, and kindness to everyone I can." Tears glistened in Evelyn's eyes, not from sadness but from gratitude and joy at the profound evolution they had experienced together. You are doing that already, Aiden. You've made an extraordinary impact, not just on the children but on the whole community. You remind us all of the beauty in connection and exploration. The moment hummed with energy, the swell of emotion punctuating how far they had come, how deeply they had touched the lives of those around them. It was a sentiment built through shared kindness, discovery, and love, a recognition that had transcended the boundaries of their discrepancies. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with soft strokes of lavender and peach, the laughter of children echoed across the town, punctuated by the distant twinkle of lights illuminating homes, like stars twinkling upon the world below. And in that sacred space they both cherished the peaceful love they had nurtured and the lessons endlessly unfolding. They realized their journey was one of endless possibilities, anchored in kindness and discovery. The warmth of their bond would ripple outward, connecting merchant and neighbor, teacher and student, threading people together in shared laughter and joy, while inviting vulnerability and growth. For Aiden and Evelyn, their journey had become one of essence and spirit, a manifestation of two thriving souls who dared to embrace life's smallest moments, while learning to nurture connections that expanded like blossoms in the sun. And as they stood hand in hand, gazing at the world unfolding before them, they knew this was only the beginning of a beautiful legacy, one nurtured through kindness, connection, and the transformative power of love.